the war zone stretched across light years, a chaotic expanse of burning wreckage, drifting debris, and desperate alien vessels. For months, the enemy coalition had clashed with local defenders, leaving the region scarred and unstable. Every jump corridor, every asteroid field, and every nebula had become a battlefield. Yet despite the chaos, the fighting had reached a stalemate. Alien forces controlled sectors with sheer numbers, while smaller factions struggled to hold ground. From a hidden vantage point, humanity observed. The Terran fleet had not yet entered the fray, but sensors aboard the command ship USS Dominion captured every movement, every engagement, every weakness. Captain Alara Voss studied the data with cold precision. "They're exhausting themselves," she said, voice calm but firm. "Their formations are fractured, supply lines overextended. Perfect timing." Lieutenant Cade, monitoring the holographic display of the war zone, nodded. "Reinforcements are scattered, and their command structure is decentralized. Once we arrive, coordination will be impossible for them." Voss allowed herself a faint smile. "That's the point. We won't just intervene, we'll finish this in a single, calculated strike." Human ships remained just beyond enemy detection, cloaked and silent. The fleet was enormous, far larger than any alien force in the immediate sector could suspect. Dreadnoughts, carriers, frigates, and drone swarms lay in wait, each vessel perfectly positioned to execute a coordinated assault. Every weapon system was primed, every crew member trained for absolute efficiency. Across the battlefield, alien leaders believed the fighting was balanced. They had fought countless skirmishes, claiming victories and suffering losses in equal measure. They had no idea that a force far superior was waiting, watching every engagement, and calculating the optimal moment to intervene. In the command center of one alien flagship, Commander Tharvik spoke urgently to his council. "The human forces are still absent. Perhaps they are content to observe. But the defenders are faltering. We can exploit this." His lieutenant responded with cautious optimism. "Yes, Commander. Their fleets are fragmented. A decisive push now could secure total dominance in this sector. Unknown to them, every move they made had been anticipated. Every fleet maneuver, every attempt to consolidate forces, was noted, analyzed, and countered in hypothetical simulations aboard the Dominion. The humans were not merely observers, they were strategists of unparalleled skill. Captain Voss stood silently, gazing at the holographic map of the war zone. "Patience," she said quietly. "We strike when it matters most. One fleet, one perfect engagement. That will be enough." Around her, the human crew moved with precise efficiency. Systems hummed with readiness, drones rested in hangars, and railguns glimmered faintly as energy capacitors charged. Even in the calm before the storm, the sense of latent power was palpable. Humanity had not yet intervened, but the aliens were about to learn that even observation could be deadly. Hours passed as the enemy continued to clash, unaware of the shadow waiting just beyond their sensors. Then, a subtle signal passed through the human fleet, the order to mobilize. Jump engines began to hum, shield matrices activated, and drones readied for deployment. This was no reckless charge. It was a calculated, surgical advance designed to exploit every weakness the humans had observed. When they arrived, the war zone would shift in an instant. The galaxy would soon witness the devastating precision of the human fleet. One intervention, perfectly executed, would end the stalemate. Humanity had entered the war zone not for conquest, not for revenge, but to demonstrate a simple truth. Underestimating humans in battle is a mistake no enemy could survive. And in the dark silence of space, the first engines of the human fleet ignited, ready to turn observation into decisive action. The human fleet moved like a shadow across the war zone, every vessel maintaining perfect formation as jump drives flared and retracted in precise synchrony. The enemy had no idea what approached. From their fragmented positions, alien scouts detected nothing unusual beyond the familiar chaos of ongoing battles. To them, the human forces remained absent, a phantom lurking just beyond sensor range. Aboard the USS Dominion, Captain Alara Voss oversaw the fleet's approach with calm authority. "Maintain stealth until the optimal vector," she instructed. "We strike where they are weakest, not where they expect. Timing is everything." Lieutenant Cade monitored the holographic battle map, highlighting fractured enemy formations. "Their right flank has begun to overextend. Command signals are inconsistent. If we move now, we can cut off their retreat and neutralize the leadership simultaneously." Voss nodded. "Exactly. All divisions, prepare for jump. Keep systems on standby. No unnecessary engagement yet, we give them a chance to survive, then demonstrate precision." Each ship in the Terran fleet hummed with silent energy, from massive dreadnoughts bristling with railguns and plasma cannons to smaller, agile frigates carrying swarms of attack drones. Electronic warfare modules and sensor arrays scanned the battlefield continuously, mapping enemy movements and preparing subtle interference strategies to incapacitate alien targeting systems before the first shot was fired. Across the warzone, alien commanders remained unaware of the looming threat. Commander Tharvik adjusted his fleet, believing the humans were still observers. "They are absent. Perhaps they are cautious. Perhaps they are afraid," he remarked to his subordinates. "Continue our advance. Hold nothing back." Meanwhile, humans were anything but afraid. They had calculated every vector, every probability, every possible outcome of the impending engagement. This was not a reckless assault. It was a surgical strike designed to maximize efficiency while minimizing collateral damage. Humanity's reputation for precision and ruthlessness would soon be established in moments, not months. The first jump was executed flawlessly. Human ships appeared in multiple vectors simultaneously, each fleet segment occupying positions that allowed overlapping fields of fire. Alien sensors flared in confusion, detecting multiple incursions almost simultaneously. On the bridge of the Dominion, Voss observed the enemy's reaction. "They see us," she said, voice steady. "Engage electronic disruption now. We do not fire yet. Let them panic under their own confusion." Immediately, alien targeting systems began to fail. Weapon arrays misaligned, engine coordination faltered, and communications flickered. Ships that had seemed disciplined moments before now drifted in disarray, unable to respond effectively to the sudden, overwhelming presence of the Terran fleet. Lieutenant Cade's fingers danced across the console. "Engines are faltering across their central line. Minor collisions detected. Their morale is breaking faster than anticipated." Voss allowed herself a faint, controlled smile. "That's the advantage of planning. Every move calculated, every outcome accounted for. We do not fight chaos, we orchestrate it." Drone swarms were deployed in controlled patterns, intercepting missiles and disabling engines without destruction, while dreadnoughts prepared railguns and plasma batteries for precision strikes on key targets. The enemy fleet, confident in their own numerical superiority, could not comprehend the efficiency of the human assault. For the first time, the aliens realized that humans did not merely fight, they dominated with strategy, timing, and technological mastery. And yet, the humans had not even begun their true offensive. This was the calm before the storm, the silent assertion of power that would soon turn a stalemate into decisive victory. Captain Voss' voice cut through the bridge. "All units, prepare for full engagement. Target priority. Leadership vessels and command hubs. One strike, total disruption. Begin when ready." The warzone, once a theater of protracted conflict, was about to witness the arrival of humanity, and the decisive precision that would annihilate the enemy in moments. The first strike hit before the enemy even realized humanity had entered the warzone. From multiple vectors, the Terran fleet struck with calculated precision. Railgun beams tore through alien hulls, drilling directly into engines and weapons arrays. Swarms of drones darted between ships, dismantling critical systems and forcing enemy vessels into chaos without unnecessary destruction. The enemy's confidence collapsed instantly. On the bridge of the USS Dominion, Captain Alara Voss remained calm, observing the unfolding destruction with measured attention. "Confirm all systems operational," she said. "Focus fire on command vessels first. Disrupt their coordination completely." Lieutenant Cade's fingers flew across her console, tracking the disintegration of alien formations. "Commander ships are disabled or retreating. Engine failures across the right flank. The fleet is fractured, communications are gone. They can't mount a counterattack." Across the battlefield, alien commanders shouted orders, only to find their fleets unresponsive. The sudden, overwhelming attack had not just destroyed ships, it had shattered their ability to coordinate. Panic spread like wildfire as minor vessels collided or drifted aimlessly, unable to respond to human precision. The Dominion monitored every movement, every disrupted signal, calculating follow-up strikes before the enemy could even react. Every railgun discharge and drone deployment was synchronized, ensuring that no alien vessel could escape or regroup. The humans did not rush. They executed each maneuver with methodical control, striking where it mattered most. One alien cruiser attempted to mount a counterstrike, firing a volley of plasma beams toward the approaching human fleet. Drone swarms intercepted the attack mid-flight, neutralizing the assault without a single human casualty. Another dreadnought unleashed its full complement of missiles, only to find its engines failing, shields collapsing, and its weapons offline before it could fire a single shot. Commander Tharvik's voice trembled as he watched from his flagship. How can a single fleet do this? How can they control the battlefield so completely?" Voss' response was calm and unshaken. "They didn't account for strategy, precision, or patience. They mistook observation for weakness. Humanity does not fight blindly. We calculate, we dominate, and we win decisively." As the enemy faltered, human ships moved in to neutralize remaining leadership vessels. Targeted railgun strikes disabled command corps, while drone swarms disrupted communications and propulsion systems. Minor vessels that attempted escape were cut off by interceptors, ensuring no ship could flee without consequence. The battlefield, once chaotic and contested, became a testament to human efficiency. Ships were disabled or destroyed in perfect sequence. Enemy morale collapsed as their leadership fell, their fleet in shambles within moments of the humans' decisive intervention. In the aftermath, the Terran fleet maintained order, patrolling the war zone to ensure no pockets of resistance remained. They had struck hard, but they had done so with precision and control. No civilians had been harmed, no unnecessary destruction inflicted. The victory was complete yet surgical. Captain Voss addressed her bridge crew, her tone calm but resolute. "This is the power of humanity when strategy meets technology. One fleet can change the course of war. The enemy should remember this day for generations." The aliens, scattered and broken, now understood the terrifying truth. Humanity's intervention was not just military might, it was an unforgiving, calculated demonstration of dominance. The war zone was theirs, and the galaxy would take note. Even as the Terran ships regrouped, sensors scanned for any hidden threat. The humans had arrived, executed flawlessly, and left no doubt. Underestimating their fleet was a mistake no civilization could survive. The war zone lay in stunned silence. Alien forces, once numerous and confident, now drifted in scattered chaos. Wreckage floated through the void, silent monuments to humanity's precision strike. The USS Dominion and accompanying Terran ships maintained formation, scanning every sector for lingering threats, ready to neutralize any attempts at regrouping. Captain Alara Voss observed the battlefield calmly. "Maintain vigilance," she said. "They may still attempt desperate maneuvers. But the operation remains under control." Lieutenant Cade monitored the alien fleet's fractured movements. "Their command vessels are disabled, and remaining ships are retreating in disarray. Engine failures are widespread, and morale is effectively collapsed. Resistance is minimal. Voss nodded. Exactly as calculated. This is more than destruction, it is demonstration. Every move shows the consequences of underestimating humanity. Across the battlefield, the alien commanders attempted to coordinate a counteroffensive, but their systems were crippled. Communications failed intermittently, weapons misfired, and shields flared inconsistently. Panic spread through every vessel as crews struggled to regain control. Even the most disciplined alien captains could not overcome the precision and timing of the human assault. The Terran fleet moved methodically, not recklessly. Drone swarms disabled engines on ships attempting escape, while railguns and plasma batteries targeted remaining command hubs. Smaller vessels ensured that no alien ship could evade capture or destruction, moving like a calculated web across the battlefield. One alien frigate, cornered near an asteroid cluster, attempted to fight its way free. Drone swarms latched onto its hull, disabling propulsion and weapons without harming the crew. A dreadnought approached, delivering a controlled volley that destroyed critical systems but avoided unnecessary casualties. The humans' discipline was evident. Destruction was precise, effective, and surgical. Commander Tharvik's flagship trembled under the weight of the human fleet's presence. They are not merely fighting," he whispered to his officers. "They are orchestrating the battlefield. Every ship, every weapon, every maneuver, perfect control. How is this possible?" Voss watched the enemy's reaction from her command bridge. They assumed we would simply participate in chaos. They failed to recognize strategy. Humanity does not fight recklessly, we dominate with intent. The Terran fleet continued its systematic sweep. Remaining alien ships attempted desperate escape through nearby jump points, but human interdictors blocked every route. Engines overheated, shields collapsed, and weapon systems were disabled before they could react. No force could regroup, no command could reorganize. Humanity had total control of the warzone. Finally, after ensuring all threats were neutralized or incapacitated, the fleet began a controlled withdrawal. The battlefield was silent but dominated, a testament to human efficiency and mastery. Every destroyed vessel, every disabled system, every moment of chaos had been orchestrated with precision. Captain Voss addressed her officers over the secure channel. "The war zone is under control. Enemy forces are neutralized, but remember, this was not a massacre. It was a demonstration. The galaxy will remember what humanity can do with strategy, technology, and patience." Lieutenant Cade exhaled, relief mixed with awe. "They'll spread stories of this engagement for generations." One fleet, and an entire coalition was shattered before they even understood what happened. Voss' gaze shifted to the stars beyond the viewport. They learned a lesson today. Humans are not to be underestimated. Our power is precise, our discipline absolute, and our patience unmatched. Let this be the reminder to the galaxy that diplomacy and conflict alike are guided by humanity's calculated hand. The fleet turned toward the nearest jump coordinates, leaving the war zone behind. Alien survivors fled in scattered clusters, forever changed by the encounter. Humanity had arrived, acted decisively, and left a mark the galaxy could never ignore. In the quiet of space, the Terran fleet glided forward, calm, unshaken, and ready for whatever challenge the stars would send next. The war zone was won, not by chaos, but by controlled, undeniable superiority. The war zone, once a theater of chaos and prolonged conflict, had been irrevocably transformed. Alien fleets that had once controlled vast sectors now drifted in disarray, crippled, and humiliated. Wreckage floated through the void, a silent testament to humanity's surgical precision. Even the most hardened commanders could not ignore the message. Humans did not merely fight, they dominated with strategy and unshakable control. Captain Alara Voss stood on the bridge of the USS Dominion, her expression calm as she surveyed the aftermath. "Confirm all remaining threats neutralized," she ordered. "We leave no uncertainty in this sector." Lieutenant Cade tapped through the display panels, scanning residual signals. All command vessels disabled, most remaining ships disabled or fleeing. No signs of coordinated counterattack. The fleet is intact and fully operational. Morale remains high. Voss nodded, her eyes scanning the stars ahead. Good. Humanity's intervention was decisive. We've demonstrated not just power, but precision, patience, and restraint. The galaxy must understand that underestimating us carries consequences. Across the Warzone, alien commanders attempted to regroup. Panic still simmered through their remaining forces, communication networks faltering under the stress of total disruption. Survivors scrambled toward distant jump points, hoping to escape, but interdictor patrols and drone swarms subtly guided their retreat, ensuring no vessel could regroup effectively. For the first time, the aliens comprehended the terrifying truth. Humans were not just another power to be measured in numbers or weapon strength. Humanity combined unparalleled technology with strategy, discipline, and patience, a force capable of turning the tide of battle in moments. Voss turned to her officers. Record every movement, every outcome. This operation is a model of efficiency. One fleet can decide the fate of an entire theater if executed correctly. We must remember the lesson as much as the enemy will. Drone swarms retracted to the Dominion and supporting vessels, weapons powered down but ready. Shields remained active, a quiet reminder of the fleet's readiness. Despite the destruction around them, humanity's approach had minimized unnecessary casualties. Every move precise, every strike calculated. Lieutenant Cade exhaled, awe in her voice. They'll talk about this battle for generations. The fleet that arrived, and within hours, their entire sector was controlled, their leadership dismantled. Voss allowed herself a faint, measured smile. Exactly. This is the distinction humanity carries. Power paired with intelligence. Strength without discipline is meaningless. Today, we showed the galaxy what happens when strategy meets absolute capability. The Terran fleet began a coordinated withdrawal, jump engines activating in a calm, synchronized sequence. Alien survivors fled in scattered groups, forever altered by the human presence. News of the decisive strike would ripple across systems, instilling respect and fear in equal measure. As the Dominion and its fleet glided away from the Warzone, the stars ahead shimmered with possibilities. Humanity had arrived, not as conquerors but as a precise, calculated force whose intervention could decide conflicts before they even escalated. The message was unmistakable. The galaxy would never underestimate humans again. Where others relied on numbers and aggression, humanity relied on foresight, technology, and unmatched discipline. One fleet had changed the balance of power. One fleet had demonstrated what it meant to truly be human. And in that silent, cold expanse of space, the Terran fleet moved forward, calm, unshaken, and prepared for the challenges yet to come.